Morning. We're here on September the 14th. It's Sunday. Lovely autumn day, as you can see. We're in the calm before the storm here at the moment. The first storm of the season is blowing through. It's not a named storm. We're looking at winds up between 40 and 50 miles an hour here. They're talking about winds up to 80 miles an hour on the coast, but I'm a bit further inland, happily. As you can see, I've been busy getting some chicken runs sorted. We've got some of the Buff Orpington girls and boys over there. I want to get the Light Sussex out today as well. They're still inside. They're only just old enough now to be coming outside. I'll be very glad to get them out of the house. They stink. Don't raise chickens in your house. No, don't do it. I won't be doing it until I've got a barn. I won't be hatching any more chickens till I've got a barn. It's been a thoroughly unpleasant experience, as cute as the chicks are. I do not recommend having chickens inside your house. I guess if you've got nappies for them and stuff, fine. Mine are just in a large dog crate. There's only 2 of them, 2 boys left now. I had the 9 chickens inside originally. Managed to get the Buff Orpingtons out a few weeks ago, which did make a difference, but I am very much looking forward to not having any chickens in the house. It just stinks. It really does stink. There's no 2 ways about it. Don't do it. Don't do it. That was a lesson learned. That was. I've already lost 2 sheds with just 20 mile an hour winds. The problem with living on a large expanse of open field is there's no windbreaks at all. I need to get some planted. So relatively moderate winds can do quite a lot of damage here. As I say, I've lost 2 sheds. I had a plastic one I was building. It wasn't finished, admittedly. I was building to be a chicken coop for the Buff Orpingtons, actually. I'm converting sheds into chicken coops. Buying chicken coops for chickens, well, for 12 chickens or that sort of size of flock. Which is what I need for my breeding groups. I'm probably going to have 9 chickens realistically. There'll be 8 females and a male in each group. But yeah, it's vastly expensive for the ready-made coops. I'd rather have a plastic or metal coop, plastic ideally, just to cut down on the risks of lice and mites. It's much easier to keep a plastic coop clean and insect-free, or pest-free, should I say. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm converting some sheds. I can buy a shed of the right size for that number of chickens for just over 300 quid, as opposed to buying a chicken coop for that number of birds. You're looking pushing upwards towards £1,000 really, for a good quality coop. And I'd rather have good quality just because I don't want to have to keep doing it. One of my neighbours is out in his tractor. Apologies if you can hear that in the background. You can hear me as well. Very moderate winds as well. It was only 20 miles an hour winds, 20 mile an hour winds here. But my metal shed that I had just moved, it has been on the field for a year with no issues, but it was up by the hedge. So I think that protected it a bit. But yeah, that took off along with the chicken run with the Buff Orpingtons in it the other day. I watched them both achieve flight and go rolling off up the field. For the chickens, it was quite an easy fix. I did have a couple of tarps on the roof because we're still under a disease protection order here for the avian flu. So chickens need to remain undercover. They have to have roof on their run. I've removed the tarps now because that was just making a great big sail, and I've put scaffold netting across them instead, which should do the job, should still keep any wild bird poop out. And at least the air can pass through that, so hopefully it won't achieve flight. I am going to be anchoring it down though with some hurricane anchors again. I've just bought some hurricane anchors. I've got 8 of them. I want to anchor down my metal sheds, and I want to anchor down the 2 coops that will have birds in them. The other 3 coops I've got here, or runs I've got here, I haven't even got any netting on them yet. I might pin them down just with some pegs, just to save the frames from getting bent if they do take off, but I think it's unlikely. without any netting on them. I don't think they're going to go anywhere in 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's not that extreme at the end of the day. But yeah, I thought I'd let you join me trying to windproof what I've got so far. The plastic shed I haven't even started trying to salvage yet, so I'll pop a little picture in here, but it's yeah, it's a mess. I don't know if I'm going to be able to salvage it, but it's too heavy. Even though it's only plastic, ridiculously, it's too heavy to lift because it's still all attached in places, and I need to be able to unscrew it, take it all apart and start again. The metal shed I managed to save. It did look like this, but I got a friend round, bless him, and came and helped me turn it back the right way up and get it back into the right place. I turned it round so that the doors weren't facing the prevailing wind. It's going to start to rain now, and that seems to have helped because we have had more 20-mile-an-hour winds since then, and yeah, everything's stayed in place. But I'm not confident it'll survive the 40-mile-an-hour winds, if I'm honest. Sorry, I think I'm looking into the sun. It's a bit glary today, so my eyes are watering again. I've bought just some simple hurricane anchors, just corkscrews to go into the ground, and I've bought some ratchet straps. Hopefully that'll just be enough to keep everything where it should be. I need to get some screens planted. I'm going to get some willow screen windbreaks up. I'll get some across the front here, in front of the coops. I mean, there are going to be a lot more breeding groups here. 5's just a start to get my Buff Orpingtons and my light Sussex cockerels with ladies, basically. In the spring, I think it will be now, we'll be looking at a lot more breeding groups. I'm hoping to eventually have sort of 30-odd breeding groups running, and I want to be able to sell hatching eggs, chicks and point of lay, or growers and point of lay hens. Going forwards, that will be starting next year. I probably won't hatch my breeding groups going forwards. I think what I will do is buy my breeding groups and then hatch from them to create my laying flock, and any further breeding groups I want to create, just bringing in extra cockerels for the bloodlines if necessary going forwards, which it will be eventually. I do have unrelated cockerels for the Buff Orpingtons. So I've got 3 cockerels. They're a rare breed. They're on the watch list, and they're a really nice chicken. They're very chilled out. When their run went and their coop went, because everything went, the run knocked over the coop when it took off. Luckily nothing was smashed. It was all in one piece on that side of things. The shed was definitely reshaped, but the runs were all okay and the coop was okay. I've just got the buffs in my original coop that I had at my last house. It's just a wooden coop, but it's nice. It's good quality coop, so there's no point building another one if I've got a perfectly good one anyway. I do like things to look uniform, which I need to get over being on a farm now. But yeah, my OCD is gonna struggle with one wooden coop and one and all the rest in plastic sheds, but we'll use it till it doesn't. I'll be using it till it becomes unusable, really. It's wood, so eventually it will break down and not be any good anymore, and then I'll replace it. That shouldn't happen with the sheds, fortunately. I'm just going to build perches. That's quite straightforward. You just basically make a ladder at an angle. That's fairly rudimentary woodwork, and then I will attach them to the shed. Nesting boxes, I've bought some cube storage, shelving really. They're the right size for the large fowl, because these are large fowl, Buff Orpingtons, the light Sussex are as well. I'm going for large fowl mostly because when I do start breeding myself, I'm going to have cockerels inevitably. I'm not going to have homes for all those cockerels, so if I've got dual purpose birds, then the extra males can go into a chicken tractor and they will become my broilers. I eat meat. I have no problem raising meat, so yeah, that's where we're going with that. Yeah, so the plan for today, we've got a few hours till this storm's due to roll in. I think I'm going to get wet doing this, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to avoid all the showers we're going to have, but yeah, I'm going to get these hurricane anchors into the ground. My plan is to put 2 in each chicken coop as well. I'm going to put them in the middle of the coop and attach them to sort of like the apex top. I genuinely don't know what it's called, but the top metal pole. I'm going to put one at each end of the coops, inside the coop, with a ratchet strap again, just to give it a bit more sturdiness. But hopefully without the sails on it, it won't take off anyway. But yeah, we'll see. First off though, I've got some of the everyday jobs to do. As you know, I live off grid. I don't have water, I don't have sewage, sadly. I miss toilets, I do. It's been a year now, so I very much miss having a toilet, and running water, but a toilet more than anything, in all honesty. I don't enjoy emptying the camping toilet each day. But it needs must. I've got a portaloo. I haven't dug a hole. I've got a portaloo. I don't want loads of holes over the fields, just full of human waste that I've filled in. So I just rent a portaloo and have done for the last year. I just empty the human waste into the portaloo. It's a glamorous subject, isn't it? But it's all part of this lifestyle, unfortunately, at the moment. And I need to get some firewood. It's getting colder in the evenings now. I'm really not ready for winter again, I must be honest. Yeah, I'm finding myself a bit miserable at the thought of being cold all the time and having no power again. But we're not there yet. I don't need to worry about it too much yet. But the last couple of days I have used a little fan heater because I have had enough solar power to do so, because the days are long enough still at the moment to generate full batteries, really. But it doesn't make sense. I've got wood, and it doesn't do a massive, because obviously there's a lot of air gaps in my mobile home. So the fan heater only does so much. It's enough to just get out of bed in the morning, really, and not freeze. I resisted starting the log burner last night because honestly I was just feeling a bit lazy and didn't want to carry a load of logs. But I suffered for it. I was chilly. So I mean, it's not freezing in there. It's about 14 degrees, so it's not cold by any means, and nowhere near the sort of 4 or 5 I was getting to in the winter last year. But it's still cold. So yeah, hauling wood and emptying toilets is the first order of the day, and then we'll get on with the hurricane brackets and straps and see how we go with them. People often ask why I have the portaloo down by the gate, and also the wood pile. Basically it's very simple. It's because I don't have a farm track. I used to have the portaloo up by the house, up by the back of the house, which was a bit more sheltered and a bit more discreet. However, as soon as the ground got wet, the lorry that comes around to empty the portaloo could not get to it. So it ended up not being emptied from something like November till March or April, that one. Obviously I did stop using it because it was beyond horrendous. But yeah, that's why that's down there. The log pile's the same reason. It's just because they can't drive across the field to deliver, and it's just, yes, they could have done for this first delivery I had. I think it was this month, beginning of this month. But it's fine. It's there. I am building a log store. It's on the very, very long list of things to do. I've got the frame. I just need to put the top, bottom and sides on it, really. And then that'll be ready. So then I'll shift it up. I'll just bung it in the car in loads and bring it up. But yeah, it's a pain. It's just a few hundred metres though. It doesn't do me any harm. So this is my hurricane anchor. It's just a corkscrew that goes into the ground. It is steel. I've made my first error already. These have got a 14mm socket on the top. You unscrew the eye and you've got a 14mm socket, so you can just use a drill to get these into the ground. My background with tools very much comes from cars. I've got an old classic Mazda RX-4. I do still have him. Well, my friend still has him, but I think he's coming home. Yeah, we'll go about that another day. But in my experience, the most common size tools I used was a 12mm and a 14mm. Since coming here, I've obviously needed more tools and more battery powered tools, because obviously corded ones are not much use here. And I got myself a Makita drill, which I'm really pleased with. It's been brilliant. It's a hammer drill, so it's done a lot of hard work for me here. But this is a 14mm socket, the biggest socket in my kit. Ooh, you're gonna blow away, wind's starting to pick up. The biggest socket in my set, it turns out, is a 13mm. Entirely my fault for not checking. Yeah, it blows my mind there isn't a 14 in there, because as I say, my background's somewhat different when it comes to tools. But yeah, so we've had to go through my old toolkit, and I've got my trusty 14mm socket wrench. So we'll see how this goes. I think it would have been a lot quicker with the drill. Actually, that couldn't have been any easier, so I'm happy with that. It just would have taken seconds rather than tens of seconds to do. So yeah, easy job. So you don't have to be a genius to be me, it turns out. My bad entirely. Sorry to whichever company off Amazon I got these from. So I was getting the eyes out of the little baggies they came in, to screw one in to see how that looked. And yeah, comes with a 14mm socket. So happy days, at least I've got one now for my drill. And yeah, let's get this job done. Well, that couldn't have been easier. As I showed you, yeah, in the interest of not losing my arm and breaking my wrist, I went back to the ratchet spanner. Sorry, I lost my words then. Went back to the ratchet spanner because, yeah, the drill is considerably stronger than my wrist, and I was gonna just end up whacking myself in the shin or snapping my thumb off. So it was a teamwork job, it's fine. Now let's get the straps. It is rapidly getting a bit windier now, so the camera keeps falling over, so we'll see how much filming we can do, because I do need to get on with other stuff as well. I'm doing my best to be good and get some actual work filmed, but yeah, there's only so many hours in the day and I need to do some work as well today as getting this stuff done, so I'll do my best. So it started raining about 2 o'clock this afternoon, so I thought I'd nip in, have some lunch, get some work done, see if it died down for a bit. It didn't, it's just been raining ever since. I think this is set in for the day and the night now. I'm going to get on with getting this chicken coop tied down. I don't mind being out in the rain. I've worked outside all my working life really. I worked in environmental education at first. Then I went and joined the ambulance service, so obviously there's no choice. People crash in all weathers and you're out in the rain in all weathers. And then I run a pet care business, so I'm out dog walking in all weather. Getting soaked isn't a problem for me, but it's worse here than it would be if I had a normal house with a shower in it and a warmer house. Here I just get to stay a bit damp. Yeah, I can get changed and stuff, but it doesn't really dry your hair off. So I try to avoid it where I can, just so I don't end up with colds all the time. It's pretty good living out here. I don't seem to catch much these days. I was around sick people all the time in the ambulance service, obviously. I have quite a good immune system, but out here I'm not exposed to much at all really. So yeah, I try to avoid it where I can. Anyway, I'll get on because I'm already tired of being soaked. Today is just, I'm going to put some tent pegs in around the coop, just a little extra stability for them. You do that anyway, I just hadn't done it yet because I wasn't sure exactly where the coops were going to go, but that is where the runs are going to stay now, so yeah, I'll get them pegged in. I haven't finished getting the roof on the other coop, the second run. I should have been outside longer today really, but equally I had work to do, so it's balancing it all out at the moment. I'm not putting chicken wire on this side here, like being a weather person, this side here, because I'm going to attach this run to that run. There is chicken wire on this wall of this one and some hardware cloth, so the chickens won't be able to reach each other. It just saves on materials as much as anything, and time, because it takes a solid day and a half at least to get these coops covered. You just like 1,500 cable ties, there's no two ways around it, that's what I'm buying to go on it. Oh, I'm sorry, you're going to fall over then. So yeah, I'll get this done quickly. The wind's starting to pick up now, as you can probably hear. So it's pretty grim out, I'm keen to get this done. I've got a couple of bungee cords to put on the feed bins for the chicken feed, which goes in the metal shed as well, just in case that does go again. It'll just hopefully keep at least some of the feed inside the bins and not wet. If that goes fine. Sorry if you're getting seasick, it's just getting windy now. So I'm going to get these pegs in, get those bungee cords on, and then I'm going to go in. But I don't think you need to watch that necessarily. So I'm all done for the day. It's 9 o'clock now. I've had a few other bits to get done as well. Yeah, the storm is a storming. The mobile home is fine. I got some chains last year, some storm chains for it. I went through the first storm without them and it was a bit alarming. It was like sleeping on a boat really. It did have a good rock on it, this thing. I wasn't worried it was going to go over, it wasn't anything like that, but it was certainly shifting. So yeah, I thought rather than get seasick on here, I'd get some chains. So that was all done last year and it was quite effective. We had some good old storms come through, sort of 60-70 mile an hour winds, and yeah, it was fine. It still moves a bit, but not as much. My other concern, something I can't really do anything about, is my fence. Already had quite a large tree come down last week, which took out part of the fence. Fortunately, it sort of broke just next to the fence, and so it was just the weight of what had come off the end of it that was stuck on the fence. It certainly stretched the wires. the second wire particularly, and did bend down the fence, the stock fencing. But I got the trusty handsaw out. I'm a bit of a coward. I'm quite scared of chainsaws. I worked on the ambulances for quite a long time, and I have seen some fairly unpleasant injuries caused by cutting tools. Chainsaws being the worst. The injuries you get from a chainsaw, if you're unlucky or have an incident or it kicks back or does something you don't expect, they're life-changing generally, if not ending. So yeah, I have a healthy fear of chainsaws. I don't think I'll ever own one. Fortunately, I do have some friends who do and who know what they're doing with them. I guess that could be the other answer, is I go on a course and learn how to actually use them properly and safely. But I'm trying to learn so many things at the moment. I think I'll leave that to the, well, we'll call them experts because they know a lot more than me. Let's leave it at that. So yeah, ended up using a handsaw to saw the tree basically in half. It just made it possible to sort of lift and roll it off the fence. I didn't want it to just sit on the fence until someone can get here with a chainsaw, just because it'll just keep stretching it. And that second wire, I think, would eventually have broken because it was under a lot of stress. There are a lot of older trees around the property. They're not my trees. They're a neighbour's trees. Unfortunately, they're the one neighbour I've got here. Most people here have been brilliant, but there is one neighbour who is really quite against my being here. And of course it's their trees. So I try to just keep my head down really and not annoy anyone whilst I'm here. I can see that just my presence annoys them, and there's nothing I can do about that. You know, I've got to live my life, they've got to live theirs, and I think we should all be able to rub along together. But it is what it is. You know, there's always going to be, people are always happy, not happy. There's nothing you can do about it really, apart from just get on. But yeah, I think coming over to them, because they live about half a mile away, it's just their land backs onto mine. They've got rather a large estate. But yeah, I think me turning up and asking them to spend a lot of money, because it would be a lot of money to deal with all the half dead trees that are in their woodland area back there, would probably not be met with any great welcome. So yeah, I'm concerned about my fence. I suspect I will lose some sections of it tonight, because that tree came down again back in that 20-mile-an-hour winds we had last week. A lot of the trees are very dry. It's been a very dry summer. They are certainly getting some rain today, but they haven't really had much rain for quite a few months, so they haven't really got the flexibility that I would like them to have by this time of year really. But we'll see, I might get away with it, you never know. My other concern is the polytunnel. Yeah, I don't have high hopes of there being a cover on it when I get up tomorrow, which is a real shame. It's a big job. It's a 30 by 36 foot polytunnel, so it is quite large. And myself and my friends are very much amateurs. It's the first time any of us have had anything to do with building a polytunnel. And putting that cover on was an absolute nightmare, and it still isn't on properly. And yeah, I think the work we had done is going to be undone. It basically comes down to time. Again, it's frustrating. I cannot do it on my own because I can't get the tension in the cloth, and get the batten on and hammer it in and hold the tension still. I just don't have enough hands. When it comes down to it, I need another sort of 4 or so hands to do that. And of course, it's been the summer holidays, so everyone's had their kids to look after and keep busy and entertained, and everyone works and everyone has their own lives. So yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle to get the help I need with that. I did contact a company a couple of weeks ago to see if they could come and put the cover on. He was supposed to be coming out on Friday, but he wasn't able to in the end. But even if he had come out on Friday, there was no way he was going to do it before today, which is Sunday. So sorry, Ari's just come to join me. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping it stays, but I'm not particularly confident. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I mean, these are things you need to consider if you're looking at this kind of lifestyle. This isn't a big storm. This is just 40-mile-an-hour winds. If you lived in a house, I doubt you'd even really think it was anything more than blowy out. But yeah, if you do live on an open field like this, then you know the effects are just greater. Because I haven't had anything on the field that's blown away, it just didn't really occur to me, if I'm honest. And then to lose everything I'd done, I basically just went flying. And yeah, it's all fine and it's all mended, you know, it's not the end of the world, but then it's just one step forward, 2 steps back, isn't it? You think you've ticked a job off the list, and then you've got to put it back on there again. So yeah, just consider it. If I'd have thought about it more, I probably would have got some willow hedging planted to get that screening growing. So I had a bit more of a windbreak. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Yeah, so all in all, I'm going to have some dinner. I need a slice of toast or something. And then, yeah, I'm going to watch a bit of TV and go to bed. 100%, I've learnt today that filming takes about 5 times as long as the job you're doing. What probably would have been an hour's work outside just to get those hurricane anchors in and everything, the straps done, that probably would have taken an hour. However, it ended up taking 2.5, 3 hours because I was fiddling with cameras and it kept blowing over, so I had to keep redoing stuff. Oh god, it was a pain. But anyway, I am going to try and soldier on with it. I'm going to try and get better at filming stuff I'm actually doing rather than just coming on here and chatting at you. I do like to talk though. I'm sorry that, yeah, it's just me. You can always fast forward me or just not watch, I guess, but yeah, you can always fast forward me jabbering. But yeah, so I think I've done all I can for now. I've moved anything that was loose outside, so I've got some chairs outside and stuff like that. I've moved that all behind the house to the back here, because that just hopefully acts as a bit of a windbreak in itself. Yeah, and I moved the car so that the house won't land on it if that starts moving, which isn't going to, it'll be fine. So yeah, I think we're all sorted. So batten down the hatches and hopefully get a good night's sleep, and hopefully everything will be where I left it in the morning, because that's why I was doing it all. So yeah, take care guys. It's no success. Everything's still standing. I think we've got 2 trees down that I can see, but I haven't gone for a proper walk around yet. They're down the far end. It might just be large branches, which would be ideal. So yeah, at least this wind's blown in some blue sky. So all good, and hopefully, I mean, it's only small things, but it makes a big difference if you're not having to rebuild everything you've already built each time some wind comes through. So hopefully this means it will withstand some stronger storms as well. Yeah, so we'll call that a success, I think.